You wake up in the morning and the first thing you look at your phone screen. 75 emails, 42 notifications from social media apps. Tasks, reminders, texts. You flop back into bed, you pull the covers over your head. It is information overload. I'm Evan Goldstein. I'm a licensed professional engineer and a data scientist. I'm building the AI Capitalist channel to talk to the leaders and thinkers like you about navigating the new world of intelligent machines. You've probably heard of terms like FOMO, fear of missing out, or techno-stress, digital detox, digital escapism, and connectivity overload. These words have just popped up in the last 20 years or so, and they all point to how we're drowning in technology these days. But is it really just stress? Or could it actually mean that something better is coming our way? We're living in a crazy time with loads of changes happening all around us. We're juggling everything, our lives, our work, our play, all while hopping between the digital and the real worlds. Plus, the way that we take in information is shifting majorly, especially with search engines and generative artificial intelligence. How we make connections, figure out who we are, and navigate through social situations is evolving as well. So this points to a feeling of being totally overwhelmed by all the digital technology out there. And it's no surprise that for some people, it's led to feelings of depression, anxiety, or other social issues because of those pressures. On the one hand, it makes us feel frustrated and hopeless, like we're just drowning in this confusing digital mess. You know, the names might be different now thanks to all these crazy new technologies, but we've actually been in this situation before. Back in the Victorian days, like in the mid-late to late 1800s, a neurologist named George Millard Beard came up with the term neurasthenia to describe what people were feeling, stuff like anxiety and depression that comes with modern life. Back in the 19th century, they had this term called railway spine, which is a fancy term for people dealing with the mental trauma from all those lethal train accidents that were happening back at that time. You know, honestly, we've never had a clear idea of how new groundbreaking technologies are going to mix up our lives. These days, though, we might be in a better spot to take some educated guesses. All these fancy terms we use to describe how overwhelmed we might feel by technology can actually mean something else, too. You see, our social norms and systems can't really adapt to the technology that's reshaped our lives until we've had some time to see how it all plays out. We're finally getting what's going on with kids getting smartphones way too early or using them in school. One thing that's messing up our sleep majorly is all the blue light from screens that keeps us up late. And the whole negativity drama and the fake news online is spilling over to real life. Schools and local governments are taking legal action against Facebook, TikTok, and other social media platforms for the harm that they're causing. Both Western countries and even China are starting to roll out new rules about privacy and how data is managed. And activist groups are popping up to push these platforms to be better. If you want AI Capitalist to get better, I would appreciate it if you would push the like button. It shows me what content you want to see, and it spreads the content to others, so I thank you for supporting this channel. We're starting to put together how we feel about all this digital technology. More and more people are diving into good old-fashioned stuff like book clubs, like the kind with actual physical books made of paper, urban farming, building off-the-grid homes, and even something called forest bathing. That's real. Plus, hiking clubs are popping up left and right, and a lot of these activities keep digital devices out of the mix. While e-readers have kind of hit a wall in sales, print books are making a comeback. There's an increased interest in dumb phones and e-ink phones and tablets that are monochromatic. The reason people want them is that they like the opportunity and ability to be connected, but want more control in how that connectivity is done and managed. What culture is starting to do now that we better understand these tools is to start putting in place new cultural norms, behaviors, and customs, which in effect reshape the technologies. It's one of the several reasons that technologies go out of favor in societies. Culture is the ultimate arbiter of all technology. One of the cultural tools that I use is the Sabbath day. In order to create the dividing line between the Sabbath and the rest of the week, I turn off my cell phone and my computer and I just unplug. When I describe this to people less familiar with the custom, they're usually shocked. I get comments asking, what if there's an emergency, or what if someone really needs to get a hold of me? And I just calmly point out that from the dawn of time until 30 years ago, there were no cell phones. And people weren't dropping dead all over the place. We can totally use a day off like a Sabbath or other tricks to help lighten that heavy information load that we're all feeling. But, you know, if we get real, we're not ever going to completely get rid of it. Information overload has been a thing since we started cranking out more books and scrolls than anyone could read in a lifetime. So instead of stressing out, we might be better off recognizing what's going on and seeing it as part of a larger cultural shift. For technology startups and big names in the technology game, the social media giants especially, they really should understand what's happening with how people are changing their vibe around their products. There's a ton of opportunity in these big shifts that we're seeing in society. Regulators and lawmakers all over the world are definitely noticing these changes. And it's getting to the point where industry associations and lobbyists would have a tough time really making an impact, just like we're seeing with the ongoing Google antitrust lawsuits and a bunch of others. We're living in a very interesting time, and it's packed with some very new and bizarre challenges and awesome opportunities to change things. Culture is doing its thing behind the scenes, and we're all just trying to figure out that sweet spot in our tech-savvy lives. Don't stop now. I have dozens more videos. This video is part of a playlist, which I'll post for you here so that you can go through and watch other videos that are similar, or you can watch our newest videos, and we have lots of other playlists. So keep clicking, keep watching. Click over there, right there.